Alright everyone, let's continue on with Star Trek Timber as we look at Skin of Evil. The Enterprise receives a distress signal from a shuttlecraft returning Deanna Troi from a conference. They find that the shuttle has crashed on a distant planet, Vogra 2, and while they can find the life signs of Troi and the pilot, Lieutenant Ben Preto, they are unable to beam the two to the ship. An away team beams down and discovers an animated pool of a tar-like substance, a malevolent life form which calls itself Armus. When Lieutenant Yar attempts to approach the shuttle, Armus hurls her back with a psychokinetic blast, killing her instantly. Aww. The away team is brought back to the Enterprise, but the damage to Yar is too great for Dr. Crusher to repair, and they are unable to resuscitate her. A second away team is sent to the planet. Armus taunts the crew members and maintains his grasp of the shuttle. During this time, Troi has communicated with Armus and learned that he is a physical manifestation of evil from the bodies of an ancient race, abandoned on Vogra 2. The away team scans Armus' energy field, and finds that when Armus engulfs the shuttle and speaks to Troi, expressing his remorse and pity, the field disrupting their transporter signals is weakened, which could allow them to beam Troi and Preto out of the shuttle. After Armus toys with Troi by completely engulfing Commander Riker, Captain Picard beams down to speak to Armus directly, sending the rest of the away team to the ship. Picard engages Armus in a heated discussion to discover its motive, which is to seek revenge on those that abandoned it on Vogra 2. Armus is riled to a point where the energy field is dissipated enough, allowing for Troi, Picard, and Preto to be safely beamed back to the Enterprise. After destroying the shuttlecraft from orbit, Picard orders a quarantine on Vogra 2. Good idea. As they leave Vogra 2, the crew holds a memorial service for Lieutenant Yar, with a pre-recorded simulation of Yar addressing each of the senior crew members, telling them what they meant to her and what she learned from each of them. After the service, Data, who had previously become close to Yar, tells Picard that he is confused as to the purpose of the service. He says that his thoughts are not for Tasha, but for himself, because he can only think of how empty his life will be without her. He asks if he has missed the point, but Picard assures him he got it. Yeah, I think so too. Anyway, let's get some production elements here. The original story, entitled The Shroud, was written by Joseph Stefano, who previously worked on The Outer Limits. Anne-Louise Shearer was given the task of rewriting the original take. The first draft had Yar's death occur earlier in the episode, with the main focus of the episode being the Armus creature rather than her death. It was the show's creator, Gene Roddenberry, who argued in favor of her sudden demise, felt it was suitable for a security officer. Roddenberry also argued against killing Armus in retaliation. Shearer later described the situation, saying, quote, "Gene felt we couldn't kill the creature, because it is not up to us as human beings to make a moral judgment on any creature that we encounter, because we are not God." Yar's death in the episode was after Crosby had asked to be let out of her contract, and rumors had circulated of her departure. She later described her time on Star Trek Next Generation as, quote, "miserable," and it was well known at the time that she was unhappy with the way her role had been developed. She later said that if she had more scenes written for her similar to the one she shared with Worf at the start of the episode, then she wouldn't have wanted to leave the show. Yar's memorial scene was filmed twice. The first was with Crosby reciting the lines while she looked straight ahead, which was the director's preferred choice. However, a version with her looking towards each of the other characters in turn was ultimately used. Scanlon later said, quote, "Don't ask me how she knew where they'd be standing. Marina Sirtis' tears in the scene were real, and she was killed by Crosby standing off camera." Skin of Evil was not the last episode in the first season in which Denise Crosby appeared. Symbiosis was subsequently filmed after this episode, but was aired earlier in the run. Crosby would also later return to the Yar role in Yesterday's Enterprise, the two-part series finale All Good Things, and as Yar's half-Romulan daughter Sela in several episodes. Guest stars in Skin of Evil included Walker Boone as Leland T. Lynch, Brad Zurbrist as a nurse, and Raymond Fortune as Ben Preto. Even though this episode marked the death of Yar, Crosby would be credited for the remaining three first-season episodes. Interesting. Armus was originally intended to be based on the Momen Chaz theater group style, but was discarded in favor of a Shroud-type creature. Director Joseph L. Scanlon was determined to make the creature believable, and it was aimed to have the creature rise up out of the oil slick, drawing it up with him. Excuse me. The test was made using a melting miniature figure of Armus with the intention to play it in reverse, but it didn't provide the required effect. The construction of the suit for Mart McChesney towards Armus was split between two teams. Michael Westmore and Gerald Quist spent a day sculpting the head, while the construction of the body was outsourced to an external company. McChesney as Armus was lowered into and out of the oil by means of a grate under the surface. Although the head was designed to enable the clearing of McChesney's airways quickly should there be a problem, no oxygen tank was included in the construction, and so he had to hold his breath while under the surface of the oil. Yeah, that was not all that good. Crew members kept track of the length of time he was under by using a stopwatch. The oil itself was a water-soluble Metamucil material which was dyed black using printer's ink. During production, the crew found that for some reason the liquid kept dissolving the seams of the suit, although the head was unaffected. A backup suit had been ordered before production began at the last minute, and was required in order to shoot all the scenes. After they started to break apart, further orders were placed for additional suits, and all the suits used eventually fell apart during the 4 days they were used on set. In order to film one scene, McChesney wore the suit open-backed due to damage. No optical effects were used in creating Armus. For the scene where Riker was pulled into the oil, a stuntman was used as a stand-in for Jonathan Frakes. Where Riker's face emerges from the oil, it was actually a plaster cast of Frakes' face painted black. It was placed on the same grade used to lift McChesney, and filmed lifting out of the liquid. The choking effect in Yar's death was due to a wire tied around Crosby's waist being pulled on. Okay then, that's a little odd, but okay then. So this is a pretty kind of sad episode because it's Yar's death, but like I said, she does come back in yesterday's Enterprise, so I guess that's a plus. I don't know, but what can I say? So overall, I give Skin of Evil 4 warp cores out of 5. Well, join me soon as we take a look at We'll Always Have Paris. So until then, live long and prosper, everybody.